The can't get rights, I've already given that away to the Washington football team. I don't give a damn what they end up calling themselves. So I got to find something else for the Jacksonville Jaguars. What in the name of Fred Taylor are the Jacksonville Jaguars doing? All right, so the dominoes are going like this, apparently.
I love that.
So
By the
with
way,
Chicago,
I love that. That's my favorite line of the
one?
week so far. What in the name
Which
of Fred
one?
Taylor of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh.
I love that. All right, go ahead.
You know, Fred Taylor, Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, the whole crew.
Fred Taylor.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Yeah. So when the Bears hired Eberflus, that left, reportedly, that left the Jaguars with one candidate, and that's the candidate that I said day one, and I know a lot of people agree with me, was a no-brainer. Should have been their primary target, Byron Leftwich, former Jags quarterback Byron Leftwich. That's the only guy who they brought in for a second interview. So here's the trip part. This is where it gets trippy. This is where it gets real Jacksonville Jaguar-y, okay? This is from Schefter. When the Jaguars' private plane was in Denver on Monday, it wasn't there to take Nathaniel Hackett to Jacksonville for an interview. Of course, Hackett's with the Broncos now. It was there to pick up former Broncos head coach Vic Fangio, who has interviewed for the Jaguars' head coaching job. Fangio is a candidate for the Jaguars. And I thought Bill O'Brien was a head scratcher. Vic Fangio and Jaguars GM Trent Baalke worked together for 4 years in San Francisco. Of course, Fangio was Harbaugh's defensive coordinator. That doesn't make it any better. First of all, Baalke being there is problematic. Secondly, unless your goal, if by improvement, if by rebuilding you mean 7-9, unless your goal is to go 7-9, what the hell are you doing?
7-10.
7-10. I beg your pardon, 7-10. But you went 7-9 before.
Or 8-9.
All right. Hell, if you want that, go get Jeff Fisher, who's coaching a USFL team in Michigan. But anyway, you know, like, why the hell are you interviewing Vic Fangio? Like, it's bad enough you have Trent Baalke. Now you're letting Trent Baalke bring his guy in? But wait, there's more. Apparently, there's a report that, because yesterday, we didn't even get to this yesterday. There was a couple of reports yesterday that Byron Leftwich was close to being the Jaguars head coach. And then there was one where it's like, no, they're not close. You know, they're still going through their process. There was another one today that, and again, we getting old. I remember he's a hard-hitting safety for the Cardinals. Adrian Wilson, Cardinals executive, is going to be the general manager for the Jaguars. And Leftwich is going to be the head coach because Leftwich gave the Jaguars an ultimatum, which every coach who either interviewed or declined to interview should have given this ultimatum, which is me or Trent Baalke. Okay?
Right.
So, and meanwhile, Leftwich, the Saints have requested permission to interview Byron Leftwich. So, long story short, are the Jaguars about to screw this up yet again?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like they are. And maybe what they're doing is trying to cover their tracks or trying to put some pressure on Byron Leftwich. Say, hey, wait a minute. We'll bring in, if you don't want to do what we say, we'll bring in another candidate. This thing's not over. We'll keep the search going. But Byron Leftwich makes so much sense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm going to say this. Look,
common sense.
Getting one of these jobs is incredible. You've heard it said many times. People say it many times because it's so true. Some cliches exist because they're just true. 32 jobs. Very special to have one of these 32. So, yeah, that's great. But in this case, in this man's case, Jaguars should be honored that he wants to coach them. He knows the Jaguars. He knows the city. He knows the organization.
You win
he
the
knows
press
quarterbacks.
Conference.
He's
Before
a
you
winner.
win games.
I mean,
you win the press conference.
all the
You
things.
you win Duval County. You win over the players. He comes in with instant credibility, which is what you did not have with the college guy who shall not be named.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Thank you. Thank you for not naming him. Usually we say, oh, he checks all the boxes. For Byron Leftwich, you just run out of box. He's like, okay, forget it. I don't have enough room. He just, box is not, can't even contain all the things good about Byron Leftwich.
But I love the Leftwich homecoming story. But he's
there's one guy
that checks more boxes. Sorry, there's one guy that checks more. Caldwell still checks more boxes. Because Caldwell has the body of work as an offensive. He checked, Caldwell is like, okay, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss some people off, but I don't give a damn.
Okay, here we go.
It's what I do.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's hear it. I'm ready for it.
From a resume standpoint and an experience standpoint, there was no more qualified candidate in recent political history than Hillary Rodham Clinton. Okay, given all that she had done. Okay? Likewise, there is no more qualified head coaching candidate than the guy who Coach Peyton Manning to some of his best years in Indianapolis and took him to the Super Bowl as a head coach, learning and alongside Tony Dungy, who went to Detroit and won in freaking Detroit, where few had won before, and nobody's
got
won
to the
since.
playoffs in
You
Detroit.
want somebody,
yeah.
You want somebody to teach Trevor Lawrence? Who better than Jim Caldwell? You want an opposite
Keep
Joe
going.
from that a-hole that you had before? Bring in somebody as respected as Jim Caldwell. You were
one
saying.
more thing with Caldwell.
Get that off,
one more.
get it off my chest.
I was going to say, I'm glad you got it off because one more caveat for Caldwell, and fact check me if I've got the dates a little bit wrong.
He was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Joe Flacco when they went to the Super Bowl. Yes.
I was going to say because he came in.
When they won the Super Bowl.
They fired the OC midway
Cameron.
through the season, right?
They
fired him. Bring in Caldwell. Caldwell locks it down.
Caldwell was there already.
Joe Flacco goes on a great Montana-like run.
Got him paid.
In the playoffs.
Yes.
Got him paid.
Yes.
Throwing up.
Yes.
Hey, Jim Caldwell, you know what? Joe Flacco should always his pillars for Joe Flacco's pillars on one side, Jim Caldwell on the other, Anquan Bolden, because a lot of those passes he was just throwing up, and Bolden was like, "No, I got this." Like bringing down a rebound in traffic. But anyway,
but finish your Leftwich point. I know you want to talk about Leftwich.
But Leftwich, I think Leftwich has a little bit more he's a better candidate for Jacksonville. I don't think he's a better candidate overall, but because of the connection, because he knows what it takes there. It is a very complicated market. It's hard to get people excited about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, it's not. All you got to do is win games. All you got to do is win games.
Well, I can tell you this. A while ago, and this is right before they had their great 2017, well, very good. I'm going to call it great. They lost an AFC Championship game. But right before their 2017 season, they had, a couple of years before that, they had meetings about, hey, how do we get players excited to take us seriously, get us excited, get them excited about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
And they had these they got meetings about this. And Leftwich understands that. He understands Duval. He understands what it takes as a player. He's a CEO who has been in your position, right? The CEO who has actually played the game and played the game at a high level. Played it as a starter, was there as a backup. Now as a coach, knows about Tom Brady, knows about functional organizations, dysfunctional organizations.
No,
I just think it makes a lot of sense. He's ready.
I said
he's
he
one
should
of
be
these
their
guys. He's one
primary
of these rookie
target.
coaches. He's one of these rookie coaches who's going to come in and it's going to be comfortable. What'd you say? Different context earlier this week. He's been here before, but he really has been here before.
Right.
And he's going to look like
he'll hit the ground running. No, I like how you said that. All right, let's hit this break. But that's good stuff. Listen, either one of those for me, Byron Leftwich, Jim Caldwell, I don't think they can go wrong. But we are talking about Jacksonville.
Big Fangio,
Big Fangio down there. Yeah, they flying Big Fangio down there. Listen, every now and then, Michael, there are times when I say to myself, I still disagree with your,
teams don't want to win.
Teams don't want to win take, generally speaking. But time after time, a team will do some dumb-ish that's like, you might have had a point. It's not that they don't want to win. It's that they can't get out of their own way. It's that Shah Khan means well. Shah Khan means well. He just don't know. Tell me a rich person that like being told what to do. Because they think they were so successful in other arenas. So like, oh, I know how to pick people. I know how to run organizations. They think they know everything. They woke up on third, they had a triple half the time. You know?
They ultimately come back to how much money you made. How much you got?
How many felons have you collared? They build jails because of me. Judges have handed out over 50,000 man-years of incarceration based on my investigations. How many fellas have you collared? I rest my case.
Do you know I just watched like 8 minutes of that just like 2 days ago? Just the first 8 minutes.
Just to get you fired up?
Just because. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.